Bienvenue. Other words. Welcome.
Willkommen.
Willkommen. This is Sydney calling, and also other parts of the country. But this is Sydney calling. It is the Washing Up Presents This is Sydney Calling, our annual sweep through Eurovision. Now, this is a preview of the semi-finals, 1 and 2, plus the big 6. I am Chris. I am here as your host. Kristie will be here, of course, for the grand final, which will be happening, obviously, after the grand final. But someone else will be here for that, ladies and gentlemen. Nurman.
Hello. Hello.
How are we? This is good.
I'm very excited.
This will
Super
be
excited.
Now, obviously, we have in previous years as well had, obviously, Jay from Great Canadian Baking Show on. Jay will be back next year because work is a bit busy, stupid real life and all of that. But Nurman will be here. And then hopefully next year we'll have a mega cast with everybody. That's the aim.
Yay!
That's the aim. And then eventually it's just Eurovision and not Bake Off. But until that point in time, we're going to talk about what's going to happen in Eurovision 2023. Of course, the host is the Ukraine, and they are hosting it in that great Ukrainian city of Liverpool. Something about the Russians. Anyway, don't know what's going on there. I love it, by the way. Can I just say, because Liverpool, of course, is one of my favorite cities on the planet, and much affinity, great affinity there, and so it's also probably the only way the British get to host. Let's be blunt and honest and upfront straight away, because we talked about this last year on the grand final podcast. We talked about this. Yes, the Ukraine won last year, but Sam Ryder really won.
Pity votes.
Yeah, and so
I shouldn't say it. Pity votes.
Look, everyone knew before the competition that Ukraine was going to win, and it was all the Russia stuff. So it wasn't a bad song. The funny part was I actually thought Shum the year before was far superior. Like by a mile far superior.
Shum should have won.
See, I'm too big a Måneskin to say that, but Shum, look, if Shum had won, I would have had no complaints.
Well, I listened to Shum every month for 3 years.
I still listen to Shum. I love that damn thing. It's amazing. Yes. But that I wouldn't have had a problem with. Last year's, it wasn't as good. Look, Sam Ryder with Spaceman last year won. And so the UK get to host without actually winning, but not. So the Ukraine won. This is the Ukrainian Eurovision being hosted by 4 hosts. Obviously, it's probably the biggest name out of all of the hosts is Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso, and obviously Graham Norton is involved as well. Don't know how they're going to work that. Don't know how they're going to work that with Graham Norton doing the call for BBC and on stage. Terry Wogan used to do it when UK would host, and Terry Wogan would sometimes be the host and do commentary. So it's a busy time for old Graham Norton, but we'll see how he progresses.
Maybe he's got a twin brother.
Can you imagine 2 Graham Nortons?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Oh, yeah, it's a terrifying prospect. So, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 2 semifinals, plus the big 5, and, of course, Ukraine, who do not have to go through. So just to explain to people who might be new, and if you're new, I'm amazed you're listening to it, but thank you. So the entrants for Eurovision are broken into 2 semifinals. There are 5 countries that always avoid the semifinals, the big 5. They're the people that basically pay for the European Broadcasting Union. That is the UK, that is Spain, that is France, that is Italy,
and Germany.
And then the winner doesn't have to go through the semis, so the Ukraine doesn't have to go through the semis either. Sometimes they try to varying degrees, those countries, because they don't have to go through a semi. So sometimes they try, sometimes they don't. I get the feeling that Nurman and I are going to have a difference of opinion on one of those in particular, but we'll save that until we talk about them. Let's go into semi-final 1, shall we? So I'll quickly run through the running order, and then we'll go through and talk about just what we like and what we don't like. Semi 1 has Norway, Malta, Serbia, Latvia, Portugal, Ireland, Croatia, Switzerland, Israel, Moldova, Sweden, Azerbaijan, Czechia, Netherlands, and Finland.
What do you think of the running order?
It's an interesting running order. I think they've gone with upbeat bops first and last. You've got Norway with Queen of Kings first is a bit of an upbeat, up tempo thing, and Cha 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 is next level.
Yes.
Shall we just start by addressing the obvious, definite agrees that we think are going to go through? So let's start with Sweden. All right. Sweden. Loreen is back. Winner with Euphoria is back with The Winner Takes It All. Tattoo. I'm sorry, it's The Winner Takes It All, and I cannot unhear it.
The winner takes it all.
It really is. Look, Sweden were made the favourites before she'd even finished winning Melodin Fest. Sweden are going into this as like some of the shortest priced favourites in history. I know it's Loreen and everyone loves Loreen. I don't get why people are so high on this, apart from the fact they just love her. What do you reckon?
Controversial opinion, maybe. I don't think she's going to win.
I mean, I'm kind of coming around more and more to the idea that she won't win either.
I don't think she's going to win the semi, and I don't think she's going to win the grand final.
I think it'll be. It's really interesting. I don't necessarily think she's going to win the jury vote. I don't think she's going to win the jury vote. And popular, I think the most one of two songs that I think are the potential that could beat her are in this semi-final. I think
we're talking about Finland.
I think Finland.
What about the second one?
Oh, the other one's not in this semi-final, and you know the other one because the other one's the one I think will win. So we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay. No. I think Finland's gonna win.
I think Finland is going to be top three. And I could very easily see them getting over the line. So if you haven't heard them, go and listen to them all on YouTube, obviously. Look, Tattoo for me is a bit bland. Like it's got that hook that you're looking for, but again, ABBA wrote that hook literally, and that she just moved it. So it was really good when Bjorn wrote it the first time.
Her vocal has been a bit iffy since Melfest, though.
Yeah, it has, and it's the other thing with a song like this is that the level of vocal, no one's doubting Loreen's voice. We all know that Loreen can sing, right? No one's doubting that. But it's so vocal gymnastic-y that there's so much potential for her to get lost in it, especially while she's doing all the movements, because she always has to do all of her movements and stuff. And if she's really focused on that on the day, that vocal could go south quite fast. So I think
the screen sandwich is a bit of a limiting factor, because the thing is, with the screen sandwich, she has to crouch to sing, and she did a lot of that when she did Euphoria, but that was 11.
But also, it was 11 years ago, and also she had the ability to also stand upright as well.
Yes.
More than she does in this. The other interesting, we've talked about this before, not on podcast, but one of my favorites, and I've talked about it on the podcast when we were reviewing that one, is Maps by Leslie Roy from Ireland. Mm-hmm. And that song fell over because they put her in literally a tiny box for the staging, that it impacted the quality of vocal. Yes. And they did the same with like Barre, Say from, the Netta year. I love that song too, but then they did the whole fake fall on the ground and have a sing on the ground and then get up and move around. And I think that the staging can ruin you. And that would probably be that's a big weakness. And I think also maybe reaction from the audience. There might be a bit of a reaction back from the audience going, yeah, we don't necessarily just want it because it's Loreen. initially there was a yay, she's back factor. And then I think some of these other songs have started to actually get traction and ground rather than just, oh, look, Lauren. So it's also very hard to come back and win. It's very hard. There's a reason why you don't see a lot of people do it.
Yes.
Like Alexander Rybak tried it, didn't work. Johnny Logan obviously managed it, but Lena didn't.
Alexander Rybak, the second song wasn't great though.
It was atrocious. The second song was horrible. Most of the time when people try to come back after winning it doesn't go. Like Johnny Logan is an exception, not a rule.
That was so long ago.
It's a very different time. And by the way,
different voting system.
But very different voting system. And also just to correct the record books, because everyone goes, oh, Johnny Logan won 3 times. No, he won twice. Linda Martin sang the third song. He wrote it, but he didn't sing it. And like everyone talks about, it's Johnny Logan's win. No. Linda Martin won that Eurovision. Johnny Logan's got 2. So it just bugs me because he gets all the credit. And it's like, no, she won. Like that was Linda Martin that won that.
Like saying Duncan Lawrence is back on this year.
Well, yes and no. We'll talk about Duncan Lawrence in a second because I want to mention Finland.
Yes.
Finland's going through 100%. It's going to be top 3 in the whole thing.
It's winning the semi-final.
Oh, I think it will. I think live that song is going to go off. It's going to be incredible.
Did you see the snippet?
I've watched that, but the other thing I would highly recommend that you do for everybody before we get to Eurovision is watch the parties, because all the parties are on YouTube. And there were a couple of songs that with the live performances, and there's clips of the rehearsals on YouTube, but also the live party gives you a good feeling. And there are some songs that live are so different and so brilliant. And Cha 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 is one. The audience is going to be massive as part of that.
I got goosebumps watching the snippet, particularly when that whole snake tongue situation happened.
The staging's incredible.
Yes,
it's really well staged. I think Sweden and Finland are cruising through this semi-final. That's a guarantee. Let's go back up to sort of the top. Norway, Queen of Kings. I think it'll cruise through. I think Norway's going to suffer a little bit from the fact they released this really, really early and got it a lot of exposure on TikTok in particular.
You reckon? I think that's probably to their benefit.
Well, you would think it would be, except for the fact that I think it's not a song that sticks with you in a way where you can re-listen to it over and over again and not go, It's really good when you listen to it initially. Oh, that's fun. And then again, it's like, that's fun. And after a while, it just is. Hey! And it just, I think it loses.
A pop song.
Yeah, it is. But I think it loses something with that many re-listens. And so I think that hurts it for being right up there. It's not an earworm. It's a song that after a while you're like, oh, it's stuck.
So, but is that because we've been listening to it so much?
I mean, yes and no. On one hand, yes. But on the other hand, remember, a majority of the audience is a diehard part of the audience. If you're spending money to vote on Eurovision, because it's a televote,
yes.
If you're spending money to vote on Eurovision, you've probably paid a bit of attention. As opposed to the people who just all get drunk at the party and watch it and go, oh, that's great.
I reckon it's going to be 50-50.
I think Norway will do well. I'm not saying it'll do badly, but it's not. I've got a few that are top bracket, and then there's the ones that are middle top. That's a middle top for me.
I reckon what's going to hurt it is the staging, to be honest.
Yep. They were going for powerful.
So dark.
Yeah, they were going for like powerful. They didn't quite hit it.
No, it looked a bit dark to me. I did like the runway,
Mm.
like the fiery runway situation, but I thought it looked a bit dark to me. Um,
It's far
it
darker
wasn't
than you
as
expect.
impactful as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, it's far darker than you'd expect. Um, so I think we've both got them going through the Malta.
Yes.
Now Malta.
Um, the staging is much better than I expected, but it's hurt by being second in the running order.
I I wrote when I was sort of going through this one. This one is if the Sunstroke project were hybrid with the Jonas Brothers,
Hmm.
you get Malta.
Yes,
Um,
sure.
and look, they've obviously studied the idea of Sexy Sax Man and decided that, well, that'll work. I think they'll go through. Um,
Don't think so.
I think they'll go through. I don't have them as a top end go through, but I've got them as a go through. Um, there's a couple of others that I think I'm not as high on that you are, and I think that's where we're going to differ.
Okay.
So we'll move on to Serbia.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yes, going through.
oh, it's going through. But the staging for this at the national final gave me Robert Smith is fronting Ghostbusters. And like, because they've all got the weird cables off the back of them, and then he's very Robert Smith, but it's going through. Serbia are cruising through this one. I don't think they'll get stopped at all.
I think Serbia's going to be number seven qualifier.
Yeah, I had them about 6-7, so that's feels about right for me. Um, Portugal.
Portugal's going through.
See, I've got to know.
Really?
I think that, and I look, I think they will. I think they will go through. I wouldn't put them through, but I think they will go through. I've got them going through at a 10. Um,
See, I put them through, and I put them through nine.
I
Um,
it's
she's such a character, and she is so feisty.
she's carrying a terrible song.
I don't think it's terrible. I
Not
really like it. I
it's
could have so.
so you've got sort of flamenco, and I think that the Finland industrial rock flamenco does it better. It's just.
Yes, but the staging is impactful.
Are you going to remember Portugal's flamenco staging or cha cha cha?
Cha cha cha.
Someone says to you,
Saying
"Oh, what
that,
about that song with the flamenco dancers?" And are you going to go, "Oh, Portugal," or are you going to go, "Oh, cha cha cha"? You're going cha cha cha.
but there is something so um traditional and beautiful about Portugal that
Look,
I think it's going to have its own appeal.
look, I wouldn't surprise me if Portugal goes through. I've also got a bit of an anti-Portugal bias because I can't stand Salvador. So
But recently, what they've got have been really nice, though.
Black Mamba was great. Black Mamba was fantastic.
Black Number was fantastic.
But
Last year was actually quite good as well.
but I
Sing around the fire sort of song.
Oh, there's another couple of those. There's one this year, which is just basically a family standing around a piano. We'll get there. Um,
Mm.
so Ireland, as I put them, sparklytism. So
Wait. We missed one. We missed one.
no, we didn't. Ireland are next in the running
Huh?
order. Ireland are next in the running order.
No, but we missed one.
Who do we miss?
Latvia.
Oh, we did miss Latvia. I've got them going through.
Have you got them not going through?
I've got them as a maybe to go through.
Okay. I I I put them as I want them to go through, but I don't think they're gonna go
See,
through.
I think it's between Portugal and Latvia for that last spot, and I think Latvia beats out Portugal.
See, if I have to pick Latvia or Portugal, I pick Latvia.
See,
But
you got to remember as well, look at the semi final that they're in. So, Latvia, the countries that are around Latvia that can give them votes, I think there's more support there than there is necessarily for Portugal. The saving grace for Portugal is the big three that are voting in this semi final. are France, Germany, and Italy, which is a potential saving grace for Portugal. But no Spain. Spain is in the other semi.
My thing is this though with Latvia. I love the song. This song is in my top five
Oh, it depends on how she does on the day.
for the year. Um, and it's my type of music, but I find that my type of music doesn't usually go well
See,
uh, in Eurovision.
I think it's not a bad Eurovision song. As I said, if I have to take Latvia or Portugal, I'm taking Latvia. And I think the audience will take Latvia. I think Portugal threatens to be something that it never quite gets to be. Whereas Latvia is exactly what you think Latvia is. And that's the difference. Is that
It,
Portugal presents like it's going, and again, you've got in the second semi-final, not second semi, but one of the big six has done flamenco style. Guess which one? Um, and again, I don't think you're going to get. I don't think you're going to get Portugal. I just think that it's the third best version of what they're trying to do.
I okay. I think we're gonna get Portugal. I don't think we're gonna get Latvia, and that's going to really make me sad.
What I really love is that
If it turns out like how you're predicting it, I would be very happy because I would take Latvia over Portugal. The reason why I don't know if Latvia is going to go through is because of its history with qualification. One, two, it reminds me so much of another song that I like from Latvia, Carousel,
Mhm.
that didn't go through. So that's the reason why I didn't put it through, but it's in my top five of the year.
I mean, remember, Latvia and Portugal have the same number of Eurovision wins. The same. They got one
Yes,
each.
but in terms
They've
of
got one
class,
each. And also, ironically, both Latvia and Portugal's Eurovision winner is my least favorite song from both countries. My least favorite song that Portugal has ever sent was Salvador. And my least favorite song that Latvia ever sent is I Wanna. And both of those won. So, says something. If that's the case, well, Portugal's the winner. Okay, Ireland. Ireland a sparklytism. Because for some reason they've started wearing like cloths on their head made of mirrors. I don't know what they're doing. Look,
what do you think about the gold?
hmm?
What do you think about the gold? The gold suit,
I think
disco suit.
that's the least of Ireland's problems. Um, I think
It's
Ireland has.
very mid 2000s sort of music.
I think that again, Ireland entered one of the best songs they've entered in a very long time, and then screwed it up with staging the other year. And since then, have gone back to their I don't really care, and like they sent like That's Rich, which was not great previously. This year, Wild Youth, the only saving grace for Wild Youth getting it is that we didn't get John Lydon, aka Johnny Rotten, and
Ugh,
Hawaii. I made Nurman listen to part of that the other night.
oh my God. I
30 seconds in before you
yeah.
told me to turn it off.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ireland didn't send us Johnny Rotten, and for that we can be eternally grateful, but this isn't getting out of the semi final. There's no way.
No, I put it as no.
Yeah, that's a big no. The next song is the most confusing song that I have in the whole competition. It's Croatia. I don't.
Did you hate it?
I don't. Okay, here's the thing. I don't like it, but it's very likely to go through. One, because it's Croatia and you've got Serbia in there as well, and you've got a couple of other countries that'll possibly push it over the line. Two, it is so weird. You've either got to be really good or really weird. And Croatia is definitely weird. I can't work out what they're doing. I don't think they can work out what they're doing. It's mental. It's I want to say they've just decided to go for as bizarre as humanly possible and see what happens because nothing else works. Usually they send a husky gentleman or a very skinny, overly tanned singer and try to go through and it goes nowhere. So I think they've just decided, let's just try weird. What do you reckon it's going through?
I think it's going through. It's it's very interesting. Like the first time, right after Dora, when it qualified, I had a knee-jerk reaction of not liking it. Not so much to the point of hating it, but I really did not like it. But somehow it kept playing in my brain. And now I'm receptive to the idea of it going through.
I'm going to say that I'm really happy that my brain has not played this song over and over.
It's that part with the five of them lining up and dancing, like the dad dance and like Mama Cupila Tractora. And I was like, oh my God, that part keeps playing in my brain. I don't know why. And then there was the whole rocket situation. It's like my brain has just had a lot of acid and
That's what it's relying on. It's relying on sticking in your head like that, not for a good reason, just for that. And I think it'll go through. I don't like the fact it'll go through, but that happens. I'm going to bunch two songs together because I think that they're very much the same thing, and I think you're only getting one of them. Switzerland and the Netherlands. Now, I'm putting these two together because I think they are the most bland pieces of miscellaneous garbage in the competition. They're not offensive. They're not good. They're nothing. They exist. They are bland singer or singers in the case of the Netherlands. Now, as you mentioned, Duncan Lawrence is connected to the Netherlands one. I only think that helps it if his name is on it singing it.
I think okay. I prefer the Netherlands when it comes to the song.
Yeah.
And I think the Netherlands, Burning Daylight is a lot closer to the type of music that I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But I prefer Remo Ferreira's voice a lot more than Mia and Nikolai.
Yeah. I think it's a better vocal. Switzerland's a better vocal. The Netherlands is a much better song. And but again, I think they're the same. And that's why I think if you get one, you're only getting one. You will not get two because there's always room for one milquetoast bland, pleasant enough song that's not going to hurt anybody. No one's going to remember it 5 minutes after it finishes. It's going to get blown away by the myriad of missiles and BDSM cha-cha-cha dances going on that you're not going to notice it was there.
Which one are you putting through?
If one of them goes through, it's the Netherlands.
I'm putting Switzerland through. My reasoning for it is Remo Ferreira's voice has been on point a lot more than Mia and Nikolai.
The other benefit is Switzerland has France, Germany, and Italy. I mean, Netherlands has good relationships with France and Germany, but Italy is more likely to swing behind Switzerland anyway. Switzerland.
My second reasoning is this: Switzerland is right after Croatia, so people can actually notice the difference between Croatia and Switzerland
I
a lot
think
more than Netherlands being sandwiched between Czechia and Finland.
I think they're both in a bad spot though, because as much as I don't particularly like Israel, she's going through.
She's going through, yeah.
She's in the top five betting odds to win. Um, I'm not a fan of Israel, but I understand what's going on there. Um, she look, there are a number of people this year who feel like they're doing an impression of someone else, and she feels very much like she's doing an impression of Dua Lipa. Um,
Dula Peep.
but not quite as good. There's a lot of people doing impressions of somebody famous, and Israel feels like they're doing an impression of Dua Lipa. Um, but Switzerland is in the middle of really weird and sort of the Dua Lipa song, whereas Netherlands is in between Czechia and Finland, and but they're both not good spots to be. If you're bland, you don't want to be surrounded by two memorable things.
I prefer to be between Croatia and Israel, though.
It's a better spot. Um,
It's a better spot. And Switzerland, it's a, for me, Remo's voice is a lot less forgettable.
yeah. So Israel is obviously going through again. I don't particularly love it, but apparently it's beloved. Um,
I do like the part where she sings like phenomenal, the phenomenal, which I
yeah,
would say. I like that part.
Moldova. Um, Moldova looks like they hired all of the extras from the video clip of the safety dance. Um, like they got the small person playing a flute. They got the crazy woman in the background dancing. They just hired everyone from the Renaissance Fair and safety dance and put them in the clip in Moldova.
Moldova reminds me of France from last year.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'll play that. That's fair. And I don't think Moldova's going anywhere near the final. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about it.
I think Moldova's getting through.
So
I think so.
I don't have Moldova getting through. Um,
I do.
the other two we've got to talk about in this semi is Azerbaijan.
Not going through.
No, they're not going through. And by the way, it looks like they've cloned Lyle Lovett, but like a young Lyle Lovett. And so, as Kristie mentioned when I was watching the clip again before, she's like, "Is there a young Julia Roberts hanging around ready to marry them?" Or, that's yeah, it's not very good. And Czechia, I love Czechia.
Oh yes.
I
Yes, 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 yes,
really, I
yes.
really love Czechia. I think Czechia is going to do incredibly well.
Czechia is my number three.
Mm. Yeah, Czechia is in my top five. Overall, I really like Czechia.
I'm a bit disappointed about something though.
Yep.
It's the outfit.
Yeah.
I would have liked them to be in different colors than just pink.
That would have been advisable. I think what they did in the clip was better than what they did live, which is rare. Usually live you get it right and the clips where you screw up.
Oh, their clips, their clip, I wanted them to wear something similar to that. And then, like that sitting
The
in
road.
that
Yeah.
line. Oh my God. Yes. I love that clip.
It's one of the few times where I actually think you should have just done the clip.
Yes.
Um Obviously you can't have that many people on stage. And again, the big six that are voting in this one are France, Germany, and Italy. We'll talk about those songs at the end because we'll talk about the big six at the end. So semi-final two.
Wait, before we go to semifinal two,
Yep.
which ones have you got going through one?
So Norway, Malta, Serbia,
Hmm.
Latvia, Croatia, Israel, Sweden, Czechia,
Hmm.
Finland.
So we agreed on Norway, Serbia, Croatia, Israel, Sweden, and Czechia and Finland. So we
Yeah.
get on 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels fair. That feels about right.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'll be happy with your Latvia.
Yeah, you really like your Latvia. All right. Now,
I love Latvia. Love.
semi-final. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say that semi-final 2 is incredibly weak. And whereas you probably could have had 13 go through out of semi-final 1, semi-final 2 is I got to 5 and struggled.
I got
And
to.
I've actually still haven't got to 10, so we're going to have to get there while we're doing it because I'm not there yet.
Let me see. I got to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I'm pretty comfortable with.
Yeah, so hang on. I've got to, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got to 8 eventually, but that's not a solid 8. That's like a solid 6 with a
Okay.
couple.
Which ones are your 6 that you're comfortable with?
All right. So I'm comfortable with Estonia.
I'm not.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk
Yeah,
about it. I'm comfortable that Greece is going through.
I'm not.
I'm comfortable that Poland is going through. There's a reason for Poland. I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Yeah, I agree with Poland.
Slovenia, they're going
Yeah.
through.
Mm-hmm.
Austria.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't be faster on that one.
No.
And Australia.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't wait to see what
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's
All right. Denmark.
Denmark.
So Denmark is Louis Tomlinson light. Denmark aiming for an audience that doesn't watch Eurovision. Teenage girls.
Denmark.
It is so auto-tuned.
Uh,
It's one of the most auto-tuned Eurovision songs I've ever heard.
I think Denmark will go through,
No,
but I don't want it to go through.
I don't think it will.
No?
It will. I've seen part of his rehearsal. It's just as boring. And he only does boy band moves from 2000 to 2004. So he does a lot of the push the chest in. He does a lot of the pull the chest out. Like he's literally watched like Justin Timberlake's early career and just does the couple of moves that Justin Timberlake. So lots of hand on the chest, lots of push it back out, then back to the. It.
Okay.
No.
Let me say this. I don't want it to go through, but I think it will go through.
He looks like what AI will be. Like it's airbrushed to all hell in the clip.
Oh no, I'm saying that I don't want it to go through. As in, like this is it's. I'm just thinking of it logically that it will go through, but I don't think I want to.
I don't think he will. Armenia.
Okay.
Now Armenia is mini Ariana Grande.
I think Armenia will go through. There are parts of that was great.
She's the one that stole the. She's the one that stole the staging from. Oh, who was the one who did "Growing Old"? Is getting.
Oh,
Getting old.
getting up is growing old. No, growing up is
Growing up is getting old. Yes, she stole the staging.
Victoria.
Yeah, because her staging is just the stage tipped up again on an angle, and her standing on the angle of the stage and sitting on the angle of the stage. They just stole Victoria's staging.
I think brunette.
And it's a complete Ariana Grande ripoff. It's a complete parody.
Okay, they're very similar, but I think she's a good enough singer that and the song has got its market that she'll go through.
I think the singing is the weakest part of it. I think she gets strong when she does the more spoken bit. When she's trying to sing it, it's very weak. Her sung bit is weak, and then she starts doing the spoken rap sing bit, and that's fine.
I do like the right part for her.
Yeah, but then when you get the bit where she's supposed to be actually singing, it's not very strong at all. It's really interesting.
She's in. I think she's climbing up in the odds though.
Probably because people have now seen her perform and they're like, oh yeah, okay. Um,
I think she'll go through.
can I very quickly just suggest that Romania is not getting anywhere near it?
No.
Thank you.
Yeah. No.
I wrote down that it's geek burlesque. Because it's like this
I
guy who's supposed to be like this sort of nerdy geek, but with the vest, and then the burlesque dancer sort of behind him. It's just weird.
I have no opinion on Romania,
Mm, it's fair.
and not having any opinion, it's yeah. I think it's a bit shady for me to say that, but I haven't got no opinion on it.
No. Okay, Estonia. Now I've got Estonia as a yes.
Okay. I've got Estonia as I want it to go through, but I don't think it will.
I think Estonia is the same sort of logic for me as Latvia. I think it's good enough, and I think in this semi-final is weak enough.
I think okay. My thought on it is this. I think it will compete with Lithuania, and only one out of the two will go through. And my pick would be Lithuania.
See, I think that semi two is so. I think if Estonia was in semi one, it doesn't go through. But I think in semi final two, it goes through because I just think that there's a gap. Um, Belgium, it's a
Belgium
mess.
go through.
It's a mess.
It's
It's such a mess of a song.
it's a mess, but it's very gay friendly.
I know it's very gay friendly, and I know what they're aiming for, but I think that here's the thing. I think that it's so much of a mess that maybe even it being that gay friendly won't work.
Okay. Side note, but somehow he reminds me of Serhat.
He's very Serhat. Um,
And
he's very
Serhat went through.
yeah, but it wasn't as much of a mess. This thing's a mess. I
Oh, you sure? Serhat was a mess and a half.
yeah, but there's a difference in the way that they were. I think this is such a confused song in terms of I get that it's really trying to drum home that message of being extremely gay friendly, but it's so all over the place. And it's quite clear that they just went with the concept of let's be gay friendly and worked backwards. Like they didn't have a song that they were working with where it was clear that that was where they just started with the concept of we're just going to do this. What are we going to sing? Oh, we'll work it out. What are we going to do? That we'll just work it out. What about the clip? Put everyone you know in it. Um,
Okay, I don't. Okay, not my type of music, but somehow I think it's going to go through. I think one, it's catchy enough. Two, um, it's happy, and I think people want happy music.
I think people want happy music too. I look, it wouldn't shock me if it goes through. It's Belgium as well, so it wouldn't shock me. But I just don't see it. I don't see it. Cyprus.
Going through.
I I had it as a
Those things strong.
I had it as a maybe, but given that I also think that Greece is going through, and the guy from Cyprus is basically doing what Greece would normally do, including sending a Cypriot who's incredibly Greek Cypriot. Um, it
They're
wouldn't.
going to give 12 points to each other,
Of course
though.
they are, and that's one of the reasons why I think both Cyprus and Greece are going through. I'm going to lump them together. I think they're both going through. I think the Greek song is incredibly dull. Um,
I don't think Greece is going through. I don't think Greece is going through,
I think Greece
despite
not
the
going
12
through.
points.
I think Greece not going through would be a shock because it's Greece. Um,
Okay, this is my reasoning for it. Greece is not memorable at all. Like I've listened to that song so many times, I'll probably say about 10 times. I
Mhm.
still can't remember the song.
My follow up to that is there are a lot of countries in that semi final with incredibly large Greek populations.
Ooh,
It's going through. Where is the largest Greek community not in Greece?
Australia.
Melbourne. It's Melbourne. And Australia is in this semi final. Yeah, Greece is coming through.
I don't.
It, it,
okay, I don't want it to go through.
I think,
I
but
don't
I
think
think
it
both.
will.
I think both Greece and Cyprus will end up going through. I think they'll both do it. Um, Iceland is not going through.
Okay. It's not going through, but I want it to go through.
I again every year since she became a thing, somebody tries to be Billie Eilish. This year it's Iceland. Um,
She's very. Have you seen the staging and what she's been doing? And she's just like
yeah,
she's owning it, which is
she's.
why I want her to go through,
I
but
think
she's not going.
the vocals not good enough. Um, it's also one of those. Look, Eurovision. I've talked to you about this before. I've talked about it on the podcast before. Whenever we've reviewed Eurovisions, I'm getting over sort of Eurovision porn lyrics. And when I say Eurovision porn lyrics, I don't mean like grotesque things. I'm talking about believe in yourself and you can do anything. We are powerful. We are strong. We are together. We are one. All of that stuff is Eurovision porn, right?
You're mentioning Ireland there.
Completely. But
We are one.
you write a song which is just that and that only. It's Eurovision porn because everyone's like, yeah, we'll get behind it. Yeah, we'll get behind that message. And I'm kind of over it. And I don't think that Iceland have done it particularly well because I don't think her vocal's good enough to get through. I think I think she might be better with a different song. I think sometimes it's do they pick the singer for the song or do they pick a song and then find the singer? And I think this is a case of they maybe had the song and that was what they settled on for the singer, but they didn't match them. They just this is the song we want you to sing, so you can do this. It's just yeah.
Look,
Um,
I don't think it's going to go through, but yeah,
all right,
sh-
Poland
she's probably one of the better ones, to be honest.
probably Poland because we
Uh,
mentioned
uh,
so Poland. I'm going to be contentious.
baby,
Poland
it's kind of crazy.
every year
Sorry.
one every year one country goes through purely on sex appeal. Poland, congratulations, this is your year. So if you've seen the video clip for Poland, it is just the singer walking around in a bikini and lots of close-ups of her butt.
It's slow-mo light.
It's look, Poland are going through not based on a vocal. It's not a good vocal.
No.
It's designed to be a catchy hook with a really attractive female standing up the front and bouncing around. That goes through, so it's going through.
Okay. This is one where I've put I've put it through, but I don't want it to go through.
I think it will go through, and then I think it will finish somewhere at the tail end of the final.
I think it's probably gonna finish 24th.
Feels about right. Um, Next up is my favorite group to say. It's 5 Seconds of Slovenia. So, like, Joker out are 5 Seconds of Summer. Like, they're not even pretending they're not. They are.
It's
And
going through though.
it's going through. It's easily going through. They're actually not, I've seen them, the live performances. They're not bad. Like,
It's okay. The live performance is a little bit more disappointing than I was expecting.
it's better than I
I
was
think
expecting,
it's
which
just
says
not
something.
the the staging is not really that inventive, and I want them to do a little bit more.
A crash through an elevator?
Well, okay, maybe not an elevator, but what happens if you've got like the hotel trolley or something like that, just picking up on their music video and transporting that to the staging. Not just
I wonder if they wouldn't let them do anything like that, because apparently one of the other acts, which we will talk about in a little bit, had to pay extra insurance for their staging. So I wonder if there was you can use a trolley and slide around the stage on it, but you're going to have to pay a bit extra. And they went, no, thanks. Georgia.
um Georgia's going through, although it's been going down my list as we go along. In the beginning, I really enjoyed Georgia.
Very moody. I thought you would.
Very, very moody. And the staging potential was great. The only thing is the lack of understandable lyrics
Yep.
actually limit the catchiness of the song.
Yep.
But
I have it as a maybe, and in my list, a maybe is probably a yes. Um, I yeah, it's not. It hasn't clung on, like the emotion that's supposed to be there and the moodiness that's supposed to be there doesn't stick. Like it bounces off you a little bit, and it doesn't feel like it's I
I do like the staging, but I think I wanted it a bit differently, maybe. I don't know. Like I want them to do like the fabric,
yeah.
movement a lot more.
There's more that can be done there. San Marino. San Marino's really fascinating for me.
Can we do it quickly?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
No.
It's inoffensive rock pop. San Marino could have been a lot better if they had Italy in voting in their semi-final, but they don't.
Oh my God. The lyrics though, smell you like an animal.
It's
I was
terrible.
like, what?
Oh, it's absolutely abysmal. But again, San Marino have a history of sending some of the worst acts to Eurovision ever. Like, at least it's not Valentina Moretta. At least we're not singing a song about the internet. You know, again, the woman who graces with Eurovision lyrics of "Do you want to be more than just good friends? Would you like to play cyber sex again?" I mean, I'm happy with the fact that they sent this, given that you could have had more Valentina Moretta. So I'm only talking about this, and I know why you wanted to go quickly because you know who's next. And I'm
Po,
just
po,
going to step.
po, 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 po.
I'm just going to step back and let Nurman talk about Austria.
Oh
Because
my God.
yeah, go for it.
Um, I love Austria. If you ask me, Austria is my winner for the year. I mean, it's okay. It's got so much meaning in its lyrics. It's so catchy. The music video is amazing, and I wanted the old guy to be there to be a backup dancer to do like the dad moves and that part where they 0.003 um and the fact that they've got it written behind them in a snippet. Oh my God. Oh, what more can I say? Like love, 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 love.
Nurman has been geeking out over this song for a very long time. Um,
Yes.
it's look, and I'm not going to mock him for it because we haven't got to the one that I'm going to go crazy about yet because that's coming. Um,
This
Albania,
is winning. This is winning the semi, right?
Austria's going through, by the way. Albania, the family sing along around the piano and guitar.
Mm-mm.
Not a hope in hell. It's very boring. Um, now,
Okay. Can I just comment on the fact that they don't look like family?
no, they don't. They don't. I mean, they've all got the
Actually
Albanian monobrow.
singing?
They've all got the Albanian monobrow, and that's about it. Um, Lithuania. Lithuania. I'm not a big fan of this one, but it's getting a lot of traction, and I think it's going through.
I think it's going through, and I like the um the Lithuanian part.
I think the weakest part of this again is her vocal, and I think a bit like we talked about with like Loreen. The only thing that could really damage Loreen is if the vocal goes south because of movement, not movement with her, but I've listened to the live national final. She's very pitchy. And I think there is scope for her to be very pitchy. And if she's pitchy, it'll do in.
I kind of wanted her to sing in her native language, not in English.
Mm-hmm. I think
I think it's a lot more beautiful sung in a native language.
I agree.
Yeah.
Um,
It's going through. For me, it's going through.
I think it's going through, but I mean, yeah. And Australia. And I think Australia, not only do I think Australia is going through, I think Australia is actually going through in better shape than most people thought they were. Because
Australia's going through in second place.
Yeah, because Voyager, like one of the things I think that people forgot when they listened to Voyager and saw the clip is that Voyager live are insanely good. And I've watched parts of their semi-finals, parts of their rehearsal. And by the way, they've got the Ford Capri on stage with them behind them as the prop. Looks really cool. And I've seen them at the Eurovision parties, and Voyager have been absolutely crushing it. It's an upbeat, up-tempo, sing-along. The audience loves it. It's closing out the semi-final, so they're in a prime position. Just before you vote, the last thing you're going to hear is Voyager. And it'll have pyro and rock and the most charismatic frontman you could hope for. Australia's going through quite easily.
Yes.
And I wasn't necessarily confident about that early on, but I'm now very confident about that. So let's see where we settled, because this is a hard one. So I think I've got, where are we? I have Estonia as a yes. Greece and Cyprus are both yes. Georgia is a yes for me. Austria, Australia, Poland, and then I'll say Armenia, because I get that that'll go through. Yeah, it's tough after that. This is what I mean. This is a tough semi-final because getting to 10 is hard.
Okay. These are my 10.
Yep.
And I'm gonna put PS on this. These 10 are the ones I think will go through, and I will tell you in a bit which ones I want to go through. So the ones I think will go through: Denmark, Armenia, Belgium, Cyprus, Poland, Slovenia, Georgia, Austria, Lithuania, and Australia. Replace Denmark with Estonia.
Yep.
And replace Poland with Iceland.
Yeah, look, I think the one that I'm trying to work out where the other one's going to go through. Belgium will be the other one that'll go through. But again, I think it's I don't really like Belgium. I said I think it's just too much of a mess. Now let's talk about the Big Six.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with last year's winner, the Ukraine, and look, what they've sent is fine. It's one of those songs that a winning country sends when they really don't want to win again. It's not bad by any stretch. In fact, it was really good when it won Eurovision in 2001. Because it's very much it's very much Everybody by Tanel Panda and Dave Benton from 2001. It really is. So
similar to the comment that I made about Greece. Remember it.
It's two guys singing a slightly upbeat duet. It's not much. Yeah, it's not much. Shall we disagree early or shall we disagree later? Let's go with Germany. All right, let's go with Germany. I'm going to say that Germany is really poor execution of a good idea.
it's a type of music that German does really well. Do I do I like it?
The length of the pause
Really?
suggests no. Um,
Not really.
Look, the idea is not horrible. We've seen it done well. I just don't think Germany have done it well. And also, think about it, Germany are doing that in a year where Finland exists. Like, no, it's not particularly well done. I usually like what Germany do, but this year I'm not a big fan. Italy,
Um, Italy is interesting. Italy's sending Italy.
they really are. Look, I didn't watch San Remo this year, but if I
Mhm.
had watched San Remo this year, he is exactly what I would have expected.
Um, do you prefer this or L'Essentiale?
Oh, that's tough. Um, Possibly this, but like
I think I prefer this than L'Essentiale.
that's not. I mean, that's not high praise.
My only thing is this, like, somehow I tried to get into Michael Mangoni and Duovito,
Yep.
but I kept getting reminded by Diodato and Fire.
If you put the way I'm sort of viewing this is if you put Cyprus and Italy in a room and fused them together, you get the exact same person coming out for both Cyprus and Italy. Like if you fuse them together, like you wouldn't notice a difference. I kind of feel a bit that way about them. Is that they're kind of two sides of the same coin.
I okay,
Italy's vocal is far better,
yeah.
but they're two sides of the same coin. Like Italy's doing a better job of what Cyprus is trying.
I I liked I like the song when it's playing, but when it stops, I can't remember it.
Yep. And that's a traditional problem that Italy usually has is that they when they send one of those is everyone listens to it, they're like, that was lovely. And then when you go, what about Italy? And you go, what did they do? You don't want to be that. Um, let's talk about Spain because I think we need to have a bit of an argument here because I hate Spain with a fiery passion. I think that Spain could not have tried less.
I like Spain.
I know you do. I think that Spain could not have tried less, and I've seen Spain try less. Like, look, the worst Spain has sent some very, 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 very bad acts. She's not in that realm, but it just feels like it should be something and it's not.
I like it because it's got that ethnic that I'm looking for watching Eurovision. And I was expecting it from Albania, except Albania wasn't giving me that. And I
I
like it's a chanting, the really out of the box type of music. The fact that it's a lullaby, but it sounds gothic witchy, that's the reason why I really like it.
I just again, it's one of those ones where I've heard it done. I've heard it done better in Eurovision, and I really like when you get people do something good, traditional and stuff like that. But it it just isn't quite reaching it for me. I think that look, I think Germany's tried less than Spain. Um, I think that Spain's look. I don't think it will have the traditional Spanish finish. No, the traditional Spanish finish is bottom five. I don't think she'll be bottom five, but I also don't think she'll be high. I think she'll probably
I,
finish back.
I think she'll finish eight.
No, I think it's too high there. I think it'll be somewhere around 13.
I think it's 8. Okay, let me say it this way. I still prefer Chanel and Slow Mo. I still prefer the top three from last year compared to Blanca Paloma.
Can we agree that the juries will vote it higher than the audience?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the juries will vote it higher than the audience. There's two left. There's two left to talk about, and we're going to talk about the UK first.
Yes.
Now, first of all, I would love for Mae Martin to reverse the roles and have Mika come out on stage for her, because for those who don't know, she's the girl in the Grace Kelly film clip, sitting on the piano, miming all the lines. That's her. I Oh, not Mae Martin. Sorry, that's no Mae Martin's on Taskmaster. Um,
Yes.
yes, I've
Maybe yeah.
yeah, Mae Moore, yeah. So Mae Moore, she's it's inoffensive, it's nice, it's poppy, it's catchy, it's got a sing along part of la 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 la
I
la. It's going to go off because it's in Liverpool.
like it.
I
I
yeah, I think it'll be
don't
top.
love it. I
No,
like it.
I think it'll be top 10. Um, Look, the UK's aim is to not be embarrassed, and I don't think
Yes.
they'll be embarrassed.
I
They'll
don't
be
think this
fine.
is gonna embarrass.
No, this will go well. It won't do brilliantly. It won't be Sam Ryder, but it will go well. It'll be perfectly respectable for the UK, and they'll be perfectly happy.
It's it's a good revenge type of song though. Instead I wrote a song.
It's a good
Instead I
time.
wrote a song.
It's a good time. Um, and that leaves us with one song to talk about.
Yes.
So France,
Your winner apparently.
France have no right to send something that damn good. Évidemment is a winning song by any metric, and her performances get better every time you see her perform. The video clip is sensational. The acoustic version that's online is sensational.
Oh, that was amazing.
What they have planned for the staging of this is the act that I said France had to pay for extra insurance because she's up high. She's higher than Kate Miller Heidke was. It is the staging in the video clip, but just bigger. It is, you've got that very traditional French bit. Then you've got a Euro poppy beat, but a really good, not ultra cheesy one. And her vocal is unreal. I think that this should be the winner. I think it should win well. It's got all of the sort of things you're looking for. It's incredibly catchy. Um, Once it lodges in your brain, it's an earworm and it will not leave. Go and watch. There's party footage, the party footage of her performing this. The crowd is singing along incredibly loudly. And then at the end of the song, she goes, "So you all know my lyrics, do you? Well, let's go." And she gets him to do it acoustically, and the whole crowd. But this is, again, better than France should not send something this good because they normally don't. And I don't know what inspired them to do it, but thank you. Your views.
Um, okay, this song is my number 2.
Yeah.
Um, this is the song that I would wear my high heels
Mm-hmm.
and dance to.
Oh God, yeah.
Um, so this would be my winner if not for Austria.
Yes. If not for the wackiness of Poe, of who the hell
Yeah,
is it?
if not for the
Yeah.
this would
I
be my winner. And I
and I can
mm,
also say, by the way, I speak on behalf of Kristie as well on this one. We are both in absolute lockstep. This is the winner. It should win. It should win going away. Look, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
I think it's amazing. I I would be very happy if this wins. I don't think it's going to.
It'll
I
be
don't necessarily want. Okay, I don't. It's not my number one in terms of who I want to win, and I don't think my number one is actually going to win.
okay. So let's do. So I gave you a brief warning about this, but first of all, which is the song that you think is going to surprise everybody and finish far higher than expected? There's
Hmm.
always one that takes off and no one anticipates.
Okay. Let me have a look at my list.
I I I really, as I said, I really like Czechia. And I think Czechia will finish better than people think it will. Um, because
Um,
I think Czechia will do really well with the juries. And then all it has to do is be really good on the night to capture the audience, and I think it finishes top six. Um, I think Czechia is probably my surprise of the night, and I think
I
top six.
I think yeah, I think Czechia, except I'm not putting it that high.
Mm. And I mean, the biggest
Okay,
is
actually, it's between Czechia and um and the UK.
yeah, and then the biggest disappointment, and I'm going to put it straight out there: if Sweden doesn't win, its biggest disappointment.
I don't think Sweden's going to win.
I'm hoping you're right here. My top three. So I'm going to tell you my top three. My top three. I've got it in order. I've got France, Finland, then probably Sweden. That's my three.
I okay, my top three is Finland, Sweden, and France.
Yeah.
The reason for me to say that Sweden's not going to win is this. From what we've put through, there are a lot more female
Yep.
artists than male artists who will be similar to Finland. Because I think we said Armenia's going through,
Yes.
Israel's going through,
Yes.
Georgia's going through,
I think the only counter I'll have for that is that
and Norway.
Lorraine is Lorraine.
Lorraine is
So she doesn't
Lorraine.
blend in.
Does she not?
No, she doesn't. Because you've got to take into account this audience. And this audience, Lorraine does not blend in. Again, go to the Eurovision movie. Who gets the superstar shot in the song along?
But if you
Lorraine.
look at the Eurovision scoreboard though, I mean, um, it's if you've got new new songs coming and they're by female artists, the one more likely to lose points would be Lorraine.
I mean, Finland is leading at the moment. You are right on Eurovision scoreboard. Um,
And Lorraine's been losing a lot of the.
yeah,
I think Lorraine has just got way too many competitions that I think.
I hope so. Uh,
And I think they're going to cannibalize, the points for each other. That's also part of the reason why I don't think France is going to win.
I see. I think you've got enough of a standout, and that's the thing. My whole thing on it is you need to have enough of a standout. I think that realistically, I think that France and Sweden do stand out because I think that vocal. the vocal for both are a bit different. Like, look, say what you want about your Loreen, but her vocal is different and it's unique. So I think for me, as much as I don't want her to win, not because I hate her. On the contrary, I love Loreen, but I don't think this one deserves it. I think she'll be top three because it's Loreen and it is a standout vocal. But I think France is a standout vocal that does both ballad and upbeat.
I think Finland's going to win. Not who I want to, but I think it's special enough and different enough that people will grab on to it. I think it's a 3-horse race between Finland, Sweden, and France. So yeah, I think those would be my top 3. Number 4 is going to be Austria for me.
Yep.
What's number 5? Ooh, number 5 is where it gets a bit difficult.
See, I think we've got. I think we've got a situation where, just to sort of get to the wrapping up point, I think we've got the top 3. I think we both agree that it's going to be the same top 3. It's just what order.
Yeah.
I think you've probably got. Look, Ukraine might be in the top 5. It's not great. It's not memorable, but it's Ukraine. You've got to take voting into account.
Pity votes again.
And it could very well be the UK. It could very well be the UK. I just think that the UK it's not a horrible song. And again, the audience is going to help that one along because it's the UK. So yeah, it wouldn't shock me if the UK is 5. So look, we will know the answer to these questions this weekend because it's finally Eurovision weekend. So thank you very much, Nurman, for joining us for this one. Now, Nurman will be back, as will Kristie and myself, after the grand final, probably Sunday night, maybe Monday morning at the latest. We'll let you know what's going on with that. But this has been a fun little session, and hopefully the predictions are mostly right. Especially not Sweden, because I don't want Sweden to win. As much as I love the idea of Sweden hosting, because I want Mons and Petra Merd, I hope it's not. So
we're going to Helsinki next year.
Oh, that could be fun. That could always be fun. All right, so we will catch you all for the grand final. See you later.
Ciao.